Hi, my name is Chad Spurgeon, and I'll be telling you things to know about Alcatraz. In 1934, Alcatraz was introduced to the prison circuit as a maximum high-security federal prison. Just because it was considered a hard-nosed maximum prison with very strict rules didn't mean it was a bad place to be. Alcatraz was also known for its amenities. As well, it was equipped with a bowling alley, a large library, and gave movie showings to inmates. Inmates from other federal prisons found out about this, and a lot of the inmates asked for a transfer. Even though prisoners were transferred to the Rock, it made its name by having some of the biggest named criminals of its generation. A few were Machine Gun Kelly, Mickey Combe, and Bumpy Johnson. One of the most well-known criminals was Al Capone. Al Capone was one of the most dangerous men of the 1930s. He was worth well over $100 million and wanted for several murders during his time as a mobster. He finally was sent to the prison for tax evasion because it was the only thing they could make stick. During Al Capone's stay at the Rock, he had succumbed to the thought that he wasn't getting out. So he turned to passing his time by joining the prison band and playing the banjo. This was a perk for him for his good behavior while he was staying there. Even though Alcatraz was to house some of the biggest notorious criminals, it was also known for its island-type setup, which was surrounded by water and its frigid waters. They thought that this made Alcatraz escape-proof, and they were right to a certain extent. There were several attempts to escape the Rock, and all failed, but in 1962 there was an escape attempt that made them think twice about the rock-solid name of the unescapable prison. The Great Escape was three brothers that had taken spoons from the mess hall and used them to dig through the walls of their cells. Once they had got through the walls, they had made fake dummy heads out of soap, paste, and paper, and placed them under the covers to make it appear as if they were still sleeping in the bed. They made it to the bay and tried to get away on a handmade raincoat raft. Still today, no one knows if they made it or not. The bodies were never found. The guards and the police called off the search and pronounced them dead. Towards the end of Alcatraz's tenure, there was one last escape that was attempted by John Paul Scott. He was the only inmate to successfully break out and swim across the bay. Police found him along the shorelines, unconscious and hypothermic. They took him into the hospital, and as soon as he was okay and ready to get back on his feet, they carried him back to Alcatraz. In this speech, I have told you about the luxuries that inmates had, and one of the biggest, worst criminals that ever served time at Alcatraz. And also I have told you about two different escape attempts that were made from Alcatraz. In its later years, Alcatraz's main use was to hope that continually caused problems for the other federal prisons. And this in turn caused problems for the Rock. Alcatraz soon closed down after the last escape attempt by John Paul Scott. Due to the lack of funds, it just was too costly and cost too much money to ship the food and the supplies across the bay by boat. So that's a few things that you need to know that is interesting facts about Alcatraz.